Uh, Ekikrit, is it audible? Yeah, is it audible as well? And earlier, was it audible? What what happened then? So just click into the link I've shared in the screen in this into the chat box. Just click in on it and just watch this video for about 5 to 7 minutes.
आफ्ना भूलहरू नगिनी झैं बेरिरहेछन् वक्षस्थल।
विक्रम सम्वत 1966 सालको कार्तिक 27 गते तिहारको लक्ष्मी पूजाको दिनमा जन्मेको हुनाले देवकोटाको नाम लक्ष्मी प्रसाद देवकोटा राखिएको थियो। देवकोटा नेपाली साहित्यमा कविता, आख्यान, नाटक र निबन्ध गरी साहित्यका चारवटै विधामा कलम चलाउने एक बहुमुखी प्रतिभा भएका साहित्यकार थिए। उनले कविता र निबन्ध विधामा गरेका योगदानहरू उच्च कोटिको मानिन्छ। मुनामदन, सुलोचना, शाकुन्तल जस्ता अद्वितीय कृतिहरू रचना गरेका देवकोटाको सबैभन्दा चर्चित रचना मुनामदन खण्डकाव्य मानिन्छ। लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटाका पिता थिए पण्डित तिलमाधव देवकोटा अनि उनकी माता थिइन् अमर राज्यलक्ष्मी देवी देवकोटा। उनी आफ्ना आमा बाबुका तेस्रा छोरा थिए।
If it's not audible, please do click on the link and watch this yourself.
त्यसैले पढ्नको लागि उनलाई साह्रै समस्या भएको थियो। तर परिवारको धेरै प्रयासपछि काठमाडौँमा भएको एकमात्र स्कुल दरबार हाई स्कुलमा उनी भर्ना हुन सफल भएका थिए। देवकोटाले सन् 1925 मा स्कुलको पढाइ पूरा गरेर त्रिचन्द्र कलेजमा विज्ञान विषयमा भर्ना भएका थिए। विज्ञान विषयमा प्रमाणपत्र तह अध्ययन पूरा गरेपछि उनले सन् 1929 मा मानविकी संकायमा स्नातक तहको अध्ययन पूरा गरेका थिए। उनले सन् 1931 मा छात्रवृत्ति लिएर अंग्रेजी विषयमा स्नातकोत्तर पढ्ने आशामा भारतको पटना गएका थिए। तर त्यहाँ अंग्रेजी विषयमा अध्ययन गर्न नपाएपछि उनले कानुन पढ्नु परेको थियो। लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटाको विवाह भएको थियो 15 वर्षको उमेरमा मनदेवी चालिसेसँग। विक्रम सम्वत 1885 मा उनको पहिलो सन्तान छोरी जन्मिन् सावित्री। त्यस्तै विक्रम सम्वत 1889 मा उनका छोरा प्रकाश देवकोटाको जन्म भयो। त्यसपछि विक्रम सम्वत 1993 मा उनका माइला छोरा कृष्णप्रसाद देवकोटाको जन्म भयो। लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटाले कानुन विषयमा मास्टर गरेर फर्केपछि उनलाई विभिन्न समस्याहरू आइपरे। उनी नेपाल फर्केको 2 वर्षभित्र नै उनका बाबु आमा र 2 वर्षीय छोरीको पनि मृत्यु भयो। त्यसपछि उनका छोरा प्रकाश देवकोटाको जन्म भयो। त्यसपछि विक्रम सम्वत 1993 मा उनका माइला छोरा कृष्णप्रसाद देवकोटाको जन्म भयो। लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटाले कानुन विषयमा मास्टर गरेर फर्केपछि उनलाई विभिन्न समस्याहरू आइपरे। उनी नेपाल फर्केको 2 वर्षभित्र नै उनका बाबु आमा र 2 वर्षीय छोरीको पनि मृत्यु भयो। त्यसपछि उनलाई चुरोटको आदत पस्यो। विक्रम सम्वत 2015 मा लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटामा क्यान्सर देखियो। उनलाई भारत लगेर उपचार गरियो। तर क्यान्सरको उपचार हुने सम्भावना नभएको हुनाले लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटा आफ्नो मृत्यु कुरेर बस्न विवश थिए। त्यस बेलामा शान्त भवन अस्पतालमा अमेरिकाबाट आएका एक इसाई डाक्टरले लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटालाई सेवा गरेका थिए। देवकोटाले ती डाक्टरलाई अंग्रेजी भाषाको कवितामा नै धन्यवाद दिएका थिए।
Medical angel and spiritual angel came to Nepal. You have got the light of Jesus before your eyes. I never saw a greater miracle than such a doctor.
देवकोटाको अन्ततः 2016 साल भदौ 29 गते देहान्त भएको थियो। उनी आफ्नो जीवनको अन्तिम अवस्थामा शान्त भवन अस्पतालमा रहँदा उनले आफ्ना साथी हरि श्रेष्ठलाई चिठीमा लेखेका थिए, मृत्यु मेरो अगाडि छ। म आकाशमा नक्षत्रहरू खोज्छु तर भेट्दिन। म आफूलाई शान्ति दिन सक्दिन। म उठ्न सक्ने भए म आफू र आफ्ना बच्चाहरूलाई मार्ने थिए।
प्रलय निदमा सुतिरहेछु मेरो ब्रह्माण्ड जल्यो, आउन सक्ने प्रभुको पदमा मेरो आत्मा सम्म गर्यो।
लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटा पागल भएको पनि उनलाई राँची पुर्याएर उपचार गरिएको भन्ने हल्ला बजारमा चलेको पाइन्छ। कतिपयले यो कुरा पुष्टि नभएको र हल्ला मात्रै चलेको बताएका छन् भने कतिपयले उनी पागल नै भएका थिए भनेका पनि छन्। यसबारेमा देवकोटा पुत्र प्राध्यापक डाक्टर पद्मप्रसाद देवकोटाले महाकवि राँची गएको सत्य कुरा हो भन्दै पुष्टि गरेका छन्। के महाकवि लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटा पागल थिए त? के उनलाई राँची लगिएको थियो?
साधारण मानिसहरूले सोचेको सोच उहाँमा होइन। उहाँ आफ्नो युगभन्दा अगाडिको मान्छे, तर कुनै कुनै अवस्थामा चाहिँ नि उहाँलाई केही हदसम्म एउटा लौताभासको बोध अनुभव भएकै कारणले पनि राँचीसम्म जानुभयो, त्यसमा शङ्का छैन। लौताभास भयो, के कारणले भयो दैव जानेस्।
तर उनले देवकोटा पूर्ण रूपमा पागल भएको भने नभएर उच्च बुद्धि पागल भएको बताउँछन्।
पागललाई एउटा नेगेटिभ अर्थमा म बुझ्न चाहिरहेको छैन। उहाँले सुन्दरी वेश्याप्रतिमा एउटा शब्द प्रयोग गर्नुभएको छ, म उच्च बुद्धि पागल भनेर भन्नुभएको छ। सायद महाकवि देवकोटाको सबभन्दा राम्रो व्याख्या नै त्यही हो, म उच्च बुद्धि पागल भनेर जुन भन्नुभएको छ त्यही नै हो उहाँको।
खासमा देवकोटा युगभन्दा अघि गएको मान्छे थिए। उनलाई समाजसँग घुलमिल हुन गाह्रो भएको, सबैले पागल भन्न थालेपछि उनी चेक जाँच गर्न भनेर राँची पुगेका थिए। चेक जाँच गरेर उनी राँचीबाट फर्केपछि जरुर साथी म पागल भन्दै पागल शीर्षकको कविता पनि लेखेका हुन् भनिन्छ।
आफ्ना भूलहरू नगिनी झैँ बेरिरहेछन् वक्षस्थल, तिनबाट म केही मोचन पाऊँ भन्दै प्रभुजी गर्छु पुकार। मानवताको भाव हजारौं मैले गाएँ कवितामा, तर ती सारा विफल भइकन फोस्रो भए प्रभु श्याम।
महाकवि लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटाको आवाज आजभन्दा ठ्याक्कै 60 वर्ष अघि भदौमा रेकर्ड गरिएको थियो। 2016 सालको भदौमा महाकवि लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटा क्यान्सर रोगबाट ग्रस्त भएपछि उनलाई ललितपुरको शान्ता भवन अस्पतालमा भर्ना गरिएको थियो। त्यसैबेला अस्पतालको बेडबाट महाकविको आवाजमा केही कविता रेकर्ड गरिएको थियो। देवकोटाको जीवनको अन्तिम समयमा रेकर्ड गरिएको सो क्यासेट देवकोटा परिवारसँग सुरक्षित रहेको छ। त्यसैबेला उनले आफ्नी पत्नी मनदेवी देवकोटासँग पोखेको वेदना पनि रेकर्ड गरिएको थियो।
यस्तो मेरो फचित भएको छ कि यस्तो महापातोखेरि तिमी जस्तो तपस्विनीको गन्तसम्म सुन्न पनि सक्छ कि सक्दैन जस्तो भइरहेछ। म मरे मेरो माया मोह छोड्छ पनि भन्दछु।
कविहरू कस्ता हुन्छन् त भने एकसुरी हुन्छन्। कवि मात्र होइन, कलाकार पनि, कतिपय सङ्गीतज्ञ होलान्, दार्शनिक त्यस्ता होलान्। एउटा सोचाइमा लागेको मान्छेको हेराइ बोलाइ आफ्नै पाराको हुन्छ। अब आन्तरिक जीवन आफ्नै व्यतीत गरिरहेको अवस्थामा अरूले हेर्दाखेरि यो त माथि उडेछ भनिदिने, ती खालका कुराहरू आफ्नो ठाउँमा छन्।
देवकोटालाई पागल भएको प्रसङ्गमा अनिल खतिवडाले लेखेका छन्, जति बेला महाकविले उद्देश्य के लिनु उडी छुनु चन्द्र एक भन्ने कविता लेखे धेरैले उनलाई बहुलाएको आरोप लगाएका थिए। तर उनी उपचार नै गर्नुपर्ने गरेर बहुलाएका भने होइनन्। तिनै उडी छुनु चन्द्र एक भन्ने महाकवि जुन दिन बिते त्यही दिन अर्थात् 2016 साल भदौ 29 गते तत्कालीन सोभियत सङ्घको लुना 9 नाम गरेको एक यान चन्द्रमामा अवतरण गराइएको थियो। यसरी मानिसले बनाएको यानले पहिलो पटक चन्द्रमालाई छोएको थियो। अब प्रश्न उठ्छ, समयभन्दा अघि पुगेर भविष्यवाणी गर्ने देवकोटा पागल कि उनलाई पागल भनेर राँची पुर्याउने उनी वरिपरिका व्यक्ति अनि समाज पागल? खास पागल को हो? कृपया कमेन्ट गर्नुहोला। धन्यवाद। लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटाको कविता पागल। जरुर साथी म पागल, यस्तै छ मेरो हाल। म शब्दलाई देख्दछु, दृश्यलाई सुन्दछु, बास्नालाई संवाद लिन्छु, आकाशभन्दा पातालका कुरालाई सुन्छु, ती कुरा जसको अस्तित्व लोक मान्दैन, जसको आकार संसार जान्दैन। म देख्दछु ढुङ्गालाई फूल, जब जल किनाराका जल चिप्लाती कोमलाकार पाषाण चाँदनीमा। स्वर्गकी जादु गर्ने मतिर हाँस्दा पत्रिएर नर्मिएर झल्किएर बल्किएर उड्छन् मुख पागल चाहिँ, फूल चाहिँ एक किसिमको चकोर फूल। म बोल्दछु तिनीसँग जो बोल्दछन् ती मसँग, एक भाषा साथी जो लेखिन्न छापिन्न बोलिन्न बुझाइन्न सुनाइन्न, जुनेली गङ्गा किनार छाल आउँछ तिनको भाषा। साथी छाल छाल, जरुर साथी म पागल, यस्तै छ मेरो हाल। तिमी चतुर छौ वाचाल, तिम्रो शुद्ध गणित सूत्र हर हमेसा चलिरहेको छ। मेरो गणितमा एकबाट एक झिके एकै बाँकी रहन्छ। तिमी 5 इन्द्रियले काम गर्छौ, म 6 ठाउँले। तिम्रो गिदी छ साथी मेरो मुटु, तिमी गुलाफलाई गुलाफ सिवाय देख्न सक्दैनौ, म उसमा हेलेन र पद्मिनी पाउँछु। तिमी बलिया गद्य छौ, म तरल पद्य छु। तिमी जम्दछौ, म पग्लन्छु। तिमी संलग्न छौ, म धमिलो बन्छु। र ठिक त्यसैको उल्टो, तिम्रो संसार ठोस छ, मेरो बाफ। तिम्रो बाक्लो, मेरो पातलो। तिमी ढुङ्गालाई वस्तु ठान्दछौ, ठोस कठोरता तिम्रो यथार्थ छ, म सपनालाई समात्न खोज्दछु। जस्तो तिमी त्यो चिसो मिठो अक्षर काटेको पाण्डिकीको बाटुलो सत्यलाई, मेरो छ बेग काँडापीको साथी तिम्रो सुनको र हिराको। तिमी पहाडलाई लाटा भन्दछौ, म भन्छु वाचाल, जरुर साथी मेरो एक नसा ढिलो छ, यस्तै छ मेरो हाल। यो थियो लक्ष्मीप्रसाद देवकोटाको पागल कविता।
3 февраля 1966 года в 21 час 45 минут 30 секунд советская автоматическая станция «Лунак-9» совершила мягкую посадку в районе океана Бурь. 4 февраля в 4 часа 50 минут по московскому времени
Yes, hope you have watched the video, finished it. Just can you raise your hands, those who have finished watching this video or still watching? Okay. Thank you, everyone. I just decided to watch this before we start the session. We begin the lesson. Let's say the poem. The poem, as you have heard, Pagal in Nepali, was written by Lakshmi Prasad Devkota. You are very familiar with it. Most of you might have already read the poem as well. Very interesting. So, in what context, why, and in what setting that he wrote this poem, this I will discuss later. Okay. Now let me share another one. Just everyone, you go through the note section. Let me share that one as well. There are so many other videos. You can just watch them if you have time. You will get lots of information, a lot of information from those videos. First of all, it was written in Nepali and later it was translated into English by L.P. Devkota himself. Ekikrit, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go into the notes section where we find some materials. And before that, let me just show you how many of you have submitted your assignment. This is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this one I found 4 students here, those who have submitted, and the others one in the second one that I've created this. I created this later. It is not submitted.
Scroll down slowly.
Sorry.
Can you scroll down slowly, sir? The name list.
I couldn't get you. Can you repeat it?
So can you scroll down the page slowly?
Okay. Yes. Of course, I will go through. Some of the assignments have been posted here, and I have found from here, and some from the mails as well. Anshu, are you there? Anshu, Anup,
Yes, sir.
have you submitted?
Yes, sir. I have submitted in your mail.
Mail, okay. So I found these here. Those who have not submitted here, some of them have submitted into LMS, some they have submitted into mail as well. Some still, if not have submitted, I just will go through them today. Yeah, this is regarding your previous test section. Now let's visit into the note section here. Here you will get the materials. There are two materials from two different books, though the same material you can find out. Let's begin this one. Is this visible?
Sure.
Yeah. Eh, yes, please. I'm listening you. Anshu?
So I submitted my test in LMS only.
Fine. Okay. If you have submitted into Gmail, then it does not show the submitted assignment into LMS. Fine.
So I submitted my test by 12 in LMS only, but it's not showing there, I guess.
So I'll check that again later. Now let's go into this one. I'll check that again. Okay, so let's begin the session here now. The Lunatic by Lakshmi Prasad Devkota. Devkota was born in 1909 and who died in 1959. A Nepali poet, popularly acclaimed as Mahakavi. You have we are all familiar with it. Mahakavi Lakshmi Prasad Devkota, the great poet, simply known as. Graduated in arts in 1930 and in law in 1933, both from Patna University, India. His early poems were influenced by the English Romantic movement in Europe. From that Romantic movement in English literature, in English setting, he was influenced by those. As he was one of the students of English literature, he was influenced by those. And his later poems speak with a powerful modern voice in Nepalese context, and with the same basis, he has written all this as well. He has written epics, short and long poems, plays, etc. His best known poems include Munamadan. Some of you might have read it as well. Is it clearly visible or should I zoom it?
It is clear, sir.
Okay. Munamadan, a folk epic which he wrote in 1935. Sakuntala, a classical epic in 1945. Savitri Satyavam, a verse play in 1940. His poems have been published in several volumes. His subjects range from a native Kunjani, which he wrote in 1945, the classical Greek Prometheus, written in 1951, and which was later published in 1971. His poems have been translated into many languages, into English, in other local and other languages as well. Regarding this case of the Lunatic, which actually he wrote this in 1956. He died in 1959. Look at the time as well, 1959, and he wrote just 3 years back of his death. And this is his own translation of his poem Pagal. And why he wrote this, in which context, what setting, to refer to what, to discuss on what kind of situation, what contemporary situation of then was, he has described this into the poem as well. In this autobiographical poem, the poet wears the persona of a lunatic. He himself says, I am insane. this this lunatic as if it were a mask. This is a persona. We'll discuss these all devices tools later. This is simply his autobiographical poem, and there have been stanzas. Long poem it is. This stanza brings out a different aspect of speaker's character. Speaker is the poet himself. He is the person or the speaker is poet himself, and he is speaking into each stanzas with some stanza he has discussed about the confidence, his abnormality, his imagination, sensitivity, rebellion, aggression, anger, and awful majesty. He has expressed fully himself fully in those stanzas regarding the confidence. Somewhere he is confident. I'm this and that, and I have this and that. Confident. He has confidence, and with this confidence, he discloses himself. In some stanzas, he expresses his abnormality. He was somehow abnormal in his expression in the poem, and this why did he regard this himself? Why this abnormality is just because of the contemporary society that ended over or that blamed him, that just said or expressed to LP Devkota. Somewhere imagination as well, lucid imagination, he has expressed the contemporary social. It is one of the satirical aspect as well. So he has expressed his satirical aspect in throughout the poem. Somewhere he expresses sensitivity, and he has become rebellion as well. Why has he become rebellion? What is the meaning of this? We'll discuss later. Has expressed his aggression and anger. He himself, with the society, with the contemporary society, he has expressed his anger, aggression, and these are his stanza-wise stanza. We'll find out these different characters of the same poet, or a poet or character. One of the characters, speakers, or the poet himself has expressed throughout the poem regarding these different characters. But above all, this poem is at once a very modern expression of time, deepest personal feelings. He has expressed, as we said, is based on his autobiographical poem, on his understanding he has expressed, the contemporary society's views he has expressed, how society outlooked him, outlooked Lalpi Devkota then, some so-called civilized people or civilized ones, their attitudes to him, to contemporary society, he has expressed satirically throughout this poem. His personal feelings of the poet, and he has the surgical exposure. We'll find out this surgical exposure of the hollowness of the so-called intellectual aspirants of the time. In his time, there are so many intellectuals, so-called intellectuals, which we call the greater people. He has expressed the hollowness, khokropana, that we call nothingness, that in those intellectuals he has expressed this hollowness through this poem as well. So this is all about the very brief introduction, and there I've shared you the link, or perhaps that worked or not. I'm not able to open it, but I'll share this link in the through this share that screen later. What can you see in the next page?
Poem.
Okay. So just read out for again for 5 minutes. That as you read this in Nepali version earlier, because this was first written in Nepali by himself, and later on this was translated into English. So just within 5 to 7 minutes, read out, make the silent reading, and then we'll again have loud reading as well. After we read, we'll internalize whatever he meant or whatever. This once understanding, once reading may not be understandable. You cannot easily understand this poem only if you read once. As that, for the same reason, I made you watch the video first. Then again, we will discuss later. Just go in this way. This is first one. Then start second stanza. Then when you finish this page, then go up to this side, right hand side later. This is only for thorough reading, fast reading. No need to make clear understanding this time. Just to read out only. Second stanza. Next one. Shall I turn the next page?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I go into the next? Yes, within a minute, just a final page. Okay. Now let's move again to the front. From here. And for this, let me assign this to, okay. So once very thoroughly you have gone through the reading, can one of you have your interpretation, your understanding, whether the text, how much you understood, and can you say something on it? Any one of you? Kijen, let's listen something from you.
So about the poem.
Yeah. Just your understanding of reading, once reading this, and no
Okay, sir.
matter full understanding, of course, once reading, twice reading, and is not sufficient for this poem. That's why I just made you go through very simple to later understanding, other interpretation, other analysis later.
So he's trying to the Lakshmi Prasad Devkota is trying to express his all the feelings in the poem. As I read, mm, I saw the differences. Like he was comparing his life with others, which was completely different, and he was not accepted by the society, I guess. And so that is in every sentence he got the opposing point between him and the society.
Okay.
So that was
Did you watch the video as well?
yes, sir.
What about the language? How much complex it is?
Sir, I don't know how to read Nepali.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Which one did you find even complex?
That's Sanskrit type or something. One, two words.
Okay, so let's listen to someone else. Utsav, what is your interpretation? Which one did you read into Nepali as well, in English also? Of course, it is difficult. And fine. Ekikrit,
Yes, sir.
what about the understanding part of this as you once read the poem?
I think it relates with our first essay, Allegory of the Cave. One of the prisoners, when they received enlightenment, others remarked him as being mad or something like that.
Okay. These are still we are not in interpretation level. Just this is our very first because we need some more explanation of this analysis of the poem. Just I made you read this only for this. So let me call upon um, to whom should I call? Some of they have left. Perhaps some problem with them. Okay, so let me read out this first. I'll explain this some today and some in our next class as well. So here we begin. Surely, my friend, insane am I, such is my plight. He says, he claims, he blames, it is not blaming self. This is just expressing, disclosing the blame to him, the burden he has taken as whatever the society has outlooked at him. Surely, my friend, I am insane. You are sane, and that means you are sane, and I am insane. I am such a person. I am such insane, and such is my plight. This is my plight. This is my luck. This is my condition. He confesses this in the very first stanza of the poem. He begins with this: I am insane, and this is my plight. I visualize sound. I hear the visible. Actually, we see the we hear the sound, but he visualizes them, or he visualizes sound. I hear the visible, but we visualize the visible. That's the difference between other so-called intellectuals and the difference between this we and him, or we means here rest of him, and he, the speaker himself. This may not be the case of only to himself. This is how he has exposed the contemporary situation the society has been treating or been treated. I hear the visible, and fragrance I taste. Look at fragrance we smell, but he tastes. He tastes this fragrance, and ethereal is palpable to me. Those things I touch, whose existence the world denies, of whose save the world is unaware. Only listening, once reading, then listening, and again interpreting. We will come to that step by step in the in our next class, third aspect. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I see a flower in the stone. When wavelet softened pebbles on, the water says, in the moonlight, will the enchanters of heaven age smiling unto me. The exploiting, mollifying, just glistening and palpating, rise before my eyes like tongueless things insane, like flowers, a variety of moonbirds. I commune with them as they do with me. In such a language strange, as is never written, nor ever printed, nor even spoken, unintelligible, ineffable all. Their language laps the moonlit gang's shore, ripple by ripple. Surely, my friend, am I insane? Such is my plight. Clever and eloquent you are. My formulas are your formulas are ever running correct. But in my calculations, 1 minus 1 is always 1. In my calculations, 1 minus 1 is always 1. We work with your senses 5 with the sixth eye of it. Brains you have, my friend, but the heart is mine. To you, a rose is but a rose. It embodies Helen and Padmini for me. You are strong prose, but I am liquid poetry. You freeze, I melt. You resent when I go muddy. When I'm muddled, you are clear. And just the other way about, you have a world of solids. Mine is one of vapors. Your is thick and mine is thin. You take a stone for hard reality. I seek to catch a dream. Just as you try to grab that cold, sweet, minted coins round reality. Mine is a vase of thorns, but yours is one of gold and diamond. You call the mountains mute, but orators do I call them. Surely, my friend, a vein is loose in my brain. A vein is loose in my brain. I'm insane. Such is my plight. In the rigid winter month, I passed to the first white heat of the astral light. They called me crazy back from the burning gut. Blank-eyed, I sat for 7 days. They cast their eyes. They cast their eyes on me and called me one possessed. Shocked by the first streak of frost on a fair lady's tresses, for a length of 3 days, my sockets filled and rolled. For the Buddha, the enlightened one, touched me in the depths, and they called me one distraught. When I danced to the bursting notes of the harborings, harbinger of the spring, they called me one gone crazy. One moonless night, all dead and still, annihilation choked my soul, and up I jumped upon my feet, and the fools of the world put me in the stocks. I sang with tempest one day, and the wise acres of the world dispatched me down to Ranchi, Indian city. They dispatched me down to Ranchi, and once when at full stretch I lay upon my bed as one but dead. A friend of mine, a friend of mine punched me so sharp and said, "Oh man, oh madman, is thy flesh now dead?" Year by year, such things did occur, and still, my friend, I am insane. Such is my plight. I have called the Nawab's wine all blood, and the court stands all corpses, and the kings are paupers. I have denounced Alexander the Great, and I have deprecated the so-called high-souled ones, and the insignificant individual I have raised. Up an ascending arc of phrases into the seventh heaven. Your highly learned men are my big fools. Your heaven is my hill, your gold my iron. Friend, your pity my sin. Where you feel yourself clever, there I find you a stupid innocent. Your progress is regression to me. Such is the upsetting of values, friend. Your universe to me is but a hair. Surely, my friend, I'm absolutely moonstruck, moonstruck indeed. Such is my plight. I find the blind people's pioneers, the cave pioneers. Do I find a runway, a deserter of humanity? And those who climb the platform of lies I do declare to be but dancers dark. And I declare the defeated ones the splendid, laureled victors. Advancement is retreat. Maybe I'm a squant, or that I'm a crack, trained but a crack. Look at the stumped tongues, a dancing of shameless leadership, at the breaking of the backbones of the people's rights. When the sparrow headed bolt, prints of black lies on the papers. Challenge the hero in me called region. With conspiracy falls, then redden hard by cheeks, my friend, and their color is up. When the unsophisticated fall, quaff of black poison with their ears, taking it for ambrosia, and that before my eyes, my friend. Then every hair rises on end, like the serpent traces of the Gorgons. Everyone so irritated when I see the tiger pouncing upon the innocent deer, or the big fish after the small ones. Then even into my corroded bones, my friend, the terrible strength of the soul of the Dechi, the sage, enters and seeks a trance, like a clouded day crashing down to earth in the round thunderbolt. When man regards a man as no man, then gnash my teeth and grinned. Long poem. We'll explain this later tomorrow. In next class, tomorrow is holiday. So just you read once this poem further. And what about other two classes? Will there? Okay. I'm not sure whether I will be taking these two classes on the very same day. Are other classes going on?
Math is not going to happen, sir. And
what about maths?
sir will go to his village tomorrow, sir.
Okay, I have also the same plan. So if that occurs, if you have time, you can manage the time. I could take your one class tomorrow in the morning as well, at 7 to 8, if possible. Or if not, then just I will upload these materials in the LMS section. I could share this today, but we don't have sufficient time. Which class after this?
Account.
Account. Okay. So yeah, then you do one thing. just you visit to the LMS, get these two materials, these read out these as well, and find some more. I will just post some more materials, upload some more, then go through them, and if possible, I will inform you and I will take the class as well. If not, then I will upload the materials. Please go through them, just consult and study them. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So happy Vijayadashami to you all.
Sir, bye bye, sir.
Happy
Thank
Namaste,
you.
sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Happy Namaste, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. See you. Thank you. Let's hope tomorrow or day after, if possible. If not, then after the same course.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Bye.